Hey, what's going on guys? Pizza.rar here. Just wanted to make a quick tutorial on how I do my roads in Hammer. So first of all, you're going to want to know where your road is generally going to be. So I have a couple buildings here. I'm going to make a road going this way, main road, and then a little side road that curves around in between these buildings here. So I'm going to start off making the main road here how I normally do it, using the regular source textures. I'm going to start by blocking it out, and then for the middle road section, I've found that 320 units is about 2 cars lengths, and then on each side I have, that's 64, oh, no wait, no, it is 64 units on each side for the trim road texture. So if I go to concrete, you can see, I use this texture. And then you just sort of have to scroll it till it's out in the middle there. Looks good to me. And the sides here, I'm going to make these this concrete texture. Just shift this over to the other side. And then you want to shift the sidewalks up. I've found about the right distance is 8 units. So we're going to go that high. And then to texture this side here, all you have to do is select this top here, Alt right click it down, and then make this texture here 15625 in the X value, and then apply, align it to the right, and then you see it looks about right. It's like the side of a Right, then usually you don't want flat roads. I don't like flat roads, so what I do is let's see, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit more, and then I'm going to cut this up so that it is made of triangles, so that way I can vertex manipulate some of these vertices so that it looks a lot more realistic and it doesn't mess up the geometry. Alright, now once you have this done, if you open up the vertex manipulation tool here in the bottom, you can go into 3D view here, select all of a group of vertices, I'm going to go ahead and, actually I want to move this whole thing up. I want this this main road here, I'm going to have it going on a downhill like this, so I'm going to move this whole thing up just a little bit, maybe like right there, just like this side, and I'm going to move it up independently. So now it's at an angle like this, and you can see the textures are still fine. And to fix the sides here, again, all you do is select the top, hold Alt, and then right click down, 15625, justify it to the left or right, and then it looks good, just like that. And then do that with the other side. And now we can add a little bit of subtle height variation in the road to make it look even more realistic. Oh yeah, also you want to select everything, Control T, make sure it's a func detail, because this stuff is expensive and you don't want to make it break up the viz groups. There we go. So now it looks like the I don't know, I think this looks good. And then we can give it some subtle height variation. So I'm going to angle everything a little bit to one side by slowly bringing everything down. And there we go. So it's not flat, it's a little bit like at an angle, and none of the geometry is broken. Everything is on the grid. All the textures are still aligned from the top, and to fix the sides here, all you have to do is alt them down. There you go. That's a good looking road right there. And then basically you just repeat this process, make sure the vertices for each road segment are aligned, and that's how you make some nice looking straight roads. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this road up real quick. So now that I've shift dragged everything over and I've copied all the roads here, it's not exactly the look I want. So I'm going to go ahead and first of all make sure all of these are one entity, one func detail, and I'm going to go ahead and manipulate these vertices so that it looks how I want it to. Alright, so now I have the road about how I want it. You can see it's got a nice curve to it. It's a little bit sloped to one side, like every road in real life isn't perfect. You might also want to go through and texture all these insides here no draw, because there's no reason for these to be textured. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. But it's good etiquette to do it. Probably should have done this first thing before I, copied everything 100 times. God damn it. Then don't forget to go around and make sure the sidewalk sides are textured properly. Alright, and then also you want to make sure, on the side textures here, make sure the light map is 8. So that it actually properly lights it. It's a small aesthetic thing, but if you don't, then the sides of the roads are going to be kind of dark. It looks weird. I'm also going to show how I do a little crosswalk. So all you do is go to It is. Okay, so get this decal right here, and then Alt-Enter. Anyway, select the surfaces, move it so that it is in the middle, like that. Make sure it's the right size. There we go. It's about right. You got some lines in the middle of it, but it doesn't matter. To make like a little divot in the road here, it's not too hard. All you gotta do is make a couple more triangles. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it real quick and then explain how I did it. It's not too hard. So there you go. It's not too hard. Basically, you just want to sort of make a little divot, I guess. Just shift drag some triangles you already have, align the vertices so that they look good, and you're done, just like I just did. I don't know how else to explain it. But it's not perfect. It does look kind of weird, but it's cheap on brushes and, gets the job done. Now you just gotta do the same thing over here, or shift drag it and invert it. I'm gonna do that. Beautiful. Now you get a crosswalk up here. And now I'm gonna do a little curvy side road. So making curvy roads is a lot slower if you want to make them textured good and the right width for the texture that you're using. So I'm just gonna use sort of the same layout here. I'm gonna make the middle thinner, so it's like a one-lane road, and I'm only gonna have this concrete part right here, not the whole sidewalk. And also, I'll show you how to do just that for corners of roads that you don't want to have sidewalks on both sides, because real life roads don't have sidewalks on both sides, so it looks kind of weird. But like if you're in a town, they do. So the vertices here don't quite match my two buildings. So because this road is straight, I can just move this and it doesn't really matter. And because everything is triangles, there are no invalid brushes. Now that I've moved them, it's kind of got a big lump in the middle of the road, which, now that I think about it, adds character. You know, why get rid of it? It's unique. Alright, so now that these vertices are aligned here with the buildings, I'm going to go ahead and delete this sidewalk. This. With 64, 4, 90, like that. We have hours work. 64, 4, okay. Yeah, make sure you don't have a start angle. And then I want to make this the right width so that everything looks pretty and uniform from the bottom. Take this 180 degrees. Move the bottom here up so that it's correct. And then I'm going to move the top down so that it is correct. I'm going to move the top up on this side. Now to texture this, all you got to do is go ahead and make a flat block to the left of it, or to the side of it. Just not much block. Or something like that, it doesn't matter. Then you want to texture like this. Make sure it's aligned. Go ahead and alt-right click to the side of this block. Then you want to alt-right click it to the side of the curve. Alt-right click back it on top. And then over to the next one, like that. Select it. Right click. Select it, right click, like that. And then you have a nice little, beautifully textured curve. So I'm going to move this up like this. So you see how this road is going up? I'm going to make this also go up with it so that it matches the road it's next to. Whoa, too high. And then we're going to make a couple triangles here just to bridge the gap between the curve here and the flat. So I'm going to go ahead and just give myself a little triangle to clone and work with here. Drag this out, just wherever, it doesn't matter, and then drag the other one there. Then we clone this, move these vertices over, and then we're good. Clone it, move it over, and then select everything, and make sure, you see this one is like super thin. Go ahead and get rid of that by just moving it like right here. Doesn't matter. Or it does, because you want to make it match up with this road. But we can just make some more triangles out of this guy right here. So go ahead and move this vertice over so that it matches with this, so that there are no gaps in our road. Like that. And then make the other rest of these vertices match. Pretty sure I messed up the bottom. That might not be perfectly flat. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So, because everything's going to be a funk detail. Now, I want to make these textured, just regular road, which is also what the one-way road and the side road is going to be textured. It's going to be just that. Then I'm going to clone this over here, transform it 90 degrees, align it, and then adjust the vertices so that they match the curve of the road on this side. So I'm going to do that real quick. Then you also might have to fix the textures. That's because I didn't have texture lock on. I'm stupid. Okay, now you gotta recopy it and do the whole thing again because you didn't have texture lock on, so the texture's moved. Make sure you have texture lock on when you move it so that everything looks the same. So all this is to get just a little curve in the trim on the road, which I think looks really good and isn't that hard to do. Now make another triangle to connect up with this side of the trim. And then one more to finish it off. Alright, come on. Alright, now just go ahead and copy over some trim from right here. Rotate it 90 degrees, like that. Actually, 90 degrees, yeah, because you didn't have a on vertices. And then do the same thing for the other side. Alright, I'm going to move these buildings back because I just realized they're a little bit too close. Alright, so now I'm going to make the trim, or the concrete sort of sides of the roads on each side. So let me go ahead and align the vertices of these sidewalks here. Alright, actually, do this correctly. Why not? There we go. That's nice. There we go. And then alright, now that I have the middle here blocked out, go ahead and texture it, and there we go. So, this is I want this to be not 320, or 250, okay, yeah, so, I don't want it to be 320 for the, side road. I actually want it to be way skinnier than this. I'm dumb, didn't really think about that, so I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna go ahead and just shift these vertices over, easy fix, so that it is the width that I want it to be, which doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna go ahead and make it like, I don't know, that looks like a one-way road. Something like that. Yeah, that's good. Alright, now the textures are all messed up, but those are also easy to fix. Whoops. All you have to do is just basically scroll them into place. If your scroll wheel unlocks, this is a very, very opportune moment to put that to good use. And over here, you just slide it to the side. That looks good. That looks good. Alright, so there you go. There's your little entrance to the side road. Now I'm going to go ahead and make the side road itself. Just go ahead and shift this over. Use this as a base, sort of, for my road. And I'm going to go ahead and level this, actually. So, this is where I'm going to make my curve. So making curves is, it takes a while. You have to do it all by hand, pretty much, but it doesn't take nearly as long as you might think. It's pretty easy, because you have a lot of freedom with how you can do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, which is good. As long as you do it right and make sure everything is on the grid correctly, then you're golden. Alright, so now this is flat. I'm going to make it the appropriate length. I'm going to have each segment be, I don't know, maybe that long? Yeah, that looks good. I'm also going to make a little parking lot right here, because I think that'd be neat, and it's not too hard to do. that connects to the curved road. Make them 8 units above the road, and texture them like this, with the sidewalk texture. So apply that, justify it so that it's like that, and then the texture scale you want to make it 3:1. I found that looks about right, ish, almost. It's close enough. If you scroll it over 1 unit, it looks better, like that. That looks good. And then texture the side, just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. There you go. Alright, so now we have the sides of our road. And also you want to make these triangles, because these are going to be not flat surfaces. You have not flat surfaces, you have triangles. So now that we have our template piece here, I'm going to go ahead and make it a funk detail, as always, and then I can start just shift dragging it, rotating it a little bit, and aligning it using Alt. This is going to be our template piece. It doesn't really matter if it's on the grid or if it's not on the grid. I'm just going to use it to align my vertices. So move it, copy it over again, rotate it a little bit more, and then I also want to make sure, so my curve is going this way, so I want to align the vertices for each segment on the outside. So I want to align the outside vertices, right? This vertice is on the outside of the curve, so I want to align it. Right, same with this one. And then I'm going to have it turn back and go into right there after one more segment here. Rotate it, align it by the outside of the vertice. And now I'm going to have it turn the other direction. So I'm going to align it by this vertice, since it's now on the outside of the curve. And I can give myself enough room. Oops, doesn't matter. Just move the building over. I'm going to go ahead and block the end of this off here with another building also, just so I don't have to worry about that. I'll end this as I'm going to cap it off just with a little bit of trim. So this is just what I used a minute ago. Align it, and then move the vertices on the road so that it matches it. Alright, so this is going to be our template here. This little end piece on the end is aligned to the grid, so we can actually use this, but these pieces here that I've been rotating aren't aligned to the grid, so we can't use those, but we can use them to sort of act as a guide for where our on the grid road is going to be, where the vertices are going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and shift this down. This is going to be the start of the actual road, because it's on the grid. Don't have to align the vertices perfectly yet with the rest of the road. Just gonna go ahead and copy this over here, and I'm gonna align it. And now we're gonna align the vertices so that they are about where they're supposed to be, but so that they're on the grid. So we're gonna go ahead and zoom in at this first curve here, and we're gonna look at basically where the curve vertice is, or where, for each point there's 2 vertices for each segment, and you're gonna want to find right about in the middle of both of those, and just basically use that point in between those as the point for the new vertice. So I'll just do it, and then it should make sense, I suppose. So right here, I'm just gonna move it down 1 so that it's there, here, about in the middle of these 2 is right there. Right here, about in the middle of these 2 vertices is going to be right here. About the middle, I don't know, right there. And then right there. Now we do the same thing for everything else. So the middle of these 2 is maybe, it's right there, so closest point to that is right there. I guess. Do the same sort of direction on the other side. Alright, so now you can see we have a curve here that has all the vertices connected. It's not textured right, but it is a start. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, finish it off with all of the other segments of the road. Alright, now that all the curved pieces are done, I'm going to just copy down this piece I did earlier and align the vertices for him. Now don't delete the template yet because we're not done with it. Use it to texture the road that's on the grid that you just made. So there we go. You can see the curved road. The brushwork is done, but the textures are really weird. So now this takes a little bit, but all you have to do is just come from the top, click on the texture, and then alt right click it down, and it'll be, because it's directly above it, the texture should be aligned perfectly, and because everything's flat, it should also be perfectly aligned. And because I'm going now, because this is all done by hand, it's not going to be perfect, and because it's using a grid system, it does sometimes look a bit weird on like thin parts if you don't do the vertices right, but so far, it's looking pretty good. On the edges here, you'll see the textures aren't perfect because the grid doesn't match up perfectly with where these meet up and where the textures are, but that's okay, because most of the time it's not that noticeable. And if it is too noticeable, you can just mess with the vertices until the texture does fit how you want it to. So there you go. There we go. There's my road textured. I'm going to just make here all aligned. And now, because every single one of these vertices, or every single one of these brushes is a triangle, by the way, we can go ahead and get rid of this template up here. And now we can, since everything is a triangle, we can align it, or we can make it basically, we can shape it, make it look however we want. Make it go up and down, whichever which way I want it to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to make this nice little curvy back road. It's going to be looking nice and dope. Alright, so now that I've got these first vertices here aligned, honestly that, I mean, you could just do with that, but this looks way lamer than what you could do if you just put a little time into it. So I'm going to do that real quick and see what I can do. Alright, there we go. That looks pretty good. Not too bad. Now I'm going to make a little parking lot, and then I'm going to finish texturing up everything. So, to make a little parking lot here, super easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and block out a little square area. I'm not going to bother making parking spaces, it's just going to be a little concrete out jut here. Alright, so now that I have a sort of concrete outline for where I'm going to have this little lot here, I'm not going to make it too big. Doesn't really matter, just a tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and move this down so that it is aligned here. Actually, first, since I have this flat surface here, I should probably texture this. Because once you start doing vertex manipulation, it gets hard to make to texture stuff straight. Yeah, that's not work. Just for everything else. Alright, this back, please. Oops, that's not this. Go ahead and move this on the line. Right there. And then, stretch your neck. Go ahead and do some sides here. There we go. Now this. This right here matches. With the sidewall. I'm going to just go ahead and grab all this. And I'm going to move it so that I try and stay sort of in this, on this line here, this line, so that the texture lines up once I'm done moving it. And I can actually check this in game, or in the 3D view, by just checking the distance between caps like that. So that's much closer. That's good. About right there. Boom. And then I could go ahead and get rid of that because I'm not going to use it. Go ahead and line these vertices up. Just like that. Easy as pie. Move this up so it looks better. Yep. Alright. And now we'll do the trim first on the inside. Or we should have done that first. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't want to do that whole thing. I don't need something just Alright, now this is textured. I'm going to go ahead and align the vertices. Alright, So for the trim here, all I did for this corner is I just stretched the vertices out on each side, made sure I stuck with the line here so that the texture aligns, and this comes to a nice point. I had to add a little triangle here just to fill a gap, but that's alright. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Just stretch this out, make sure this keeps with its line, and this keeps with its line. Move this down so it's in the right spot. And there we go, there's the trim done, and now all that's left is to make one final brush. Big ol' square in the middle. Slice it up so it's triangles. The vertices. And then you're done. Just like that, you get a nice little parking lot coming out of your road. It looks like another road. Okay. Well, I should have made it bigger. No, it just looks like another road, but you get the point. You make this wider. That's how you make sort of that kind of joint there. You could do curved, fancy joints like that, but on a side road here, typically you wouldn't have it. On a main road, like if it's a curve, like a turn, like at an intersection or something, that's what you want to do. For this here, I'll go ahead and show you how to cap this. Basically, to cap a sidewalk like this, all you gotta do, gotta make an extra vertice here, put it right there, shift drag, copy this triangle basically, and then realign it so that it's like that, and then copy again, like vertices, and what I do, rotate this 90 degrees, then boom, there you go, capped road, easy as that. 65 to the right. Alright, make sure you make everything a func detail and you align all your textures right, and do this for this side also. Or you could go through this process the same way here and make a nice little crosswalk right here. You could also do that. But yep, that's how I make my roads. It's really not that hard. It doesn't take too long, but it is time consuming. For my map, I'm making RP Ginsburg. I'm making all the roads basically this hard way, so that it looks pretty. Because I like to look at the roads. As you can see, these are the templates up here. This is how I make my road like this. It's not that hard. Anyways, that's how I do it. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much. Make sure to drop a like, share this video with your friends if you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.